All right, welcome back. This is exactly where we left off last time. We've got our map, but we're noticing that there's really no context to it. So how can we make this map make more sense to your everyday viewer? So there's several different ways to put a map behind it. I'll show you one of the ways. This isn't my favorite, but this one is you're just putting like almost like your Google Street Map behind it, which is super handy. So I'm going to hit go up to plugins, manage and install plugins. I'm going to go to all and I'm going to search quick map services. I'm going to double click that or click it once, and then I'm going to hit install plugin. As you can see, it's really fast to upload. I'm going to hit close over here. Then I go over here and hit this quick map services. I go over to OpenStreetMap standard. And then it puts a map behind it. And it looks decent. You can see the cool thing is when you zoom out, it only shows a few cities, only a little bit of detail, but when you zoom in, it shows a lot more detail. So super handy. We can look Kirkwood here and we can see you can go to downtown or you can go to your house and you can look at it on this, which is a really cool tool to have. You can go in and look at blocks and just see the detail. And then before we go any farther, let me show you. We put the street map in the back, but if we change the rendering here, and we just do like to Pennsylvania, St. Louis County looks weird. That's not right. So I actually just had it automatically set up to be, I had Missouri East, which looks about right. But so that's just important. Make sure that the projection is right, because if the projection isn't, your map looks weird. Now I think the colors are distracting. So if I go in and I double click it, I'm going to go to Symbology. I can turn on grayscale. Just one of these. It doesn't make a huge visual difference. I just hit OK. And a lot of times I think that this is a better way of doing it, where it's all gray behind it. And you might notice it's pretty glitchy when you do it this way. And I don't love that. So I'll show you another way that we can create a map in the background. It's a little bit more complicated. You'll remember that was actually, really easy. So I'm going to remove this layer. We don't need that anymore. And then we're going to go over here. Whoa, that's the thing that it does. Let's search. I'm going to bring up this. We're going to do St. Louis County. We'll just type the whole thing in. OSM OpenStreetMap file. So we're going to hit here. I'm going to download the shapefile. And once again, we're just going to pull this out onto the desktop. And then we're going to go back to QGIS. And if we ever have like new data since we started our project that we've added to our downloads or our desktop or wherever, go ahead and hit the little refresh button up top here just to make sure it pops in. So again, we're going home to desktop where we've got it stored. This one, and I just want the shape file on this. The top one works. Yeah, perfect. And then we're going to double click that. And you guessed it, we're going into Symbology here. Pink is not a good color for roads. I think this gray here, and this is one that I've used before. But as you can see, you can go through here, and we'll talk about coloring later, actually. But you can make all different sorts of colors. I'm going to hit OK here. Simple line is good. I'm going to go ahead and take down the width to 0.1, actually. And the opacity, I'm going to bring it to maybe 50%. The roads are not important. I just want it to be in the background. That might be too small. We'll do 0.2 on the width. And this is, some of this is just a little bit of a guessing game, honestly. But now you can see that the roads are in there and we can see them, but they're not distracting. And then one other way, we have the roads, but we don't have the cities. So we can basically create our own map of cities by using St. Louis counties. Again, we're going to go back to just the St. Louis County website here. I'm going to hit open data. Let's make this bigger. Open data. GIS apps there. Hit open data again. I'm going to search municipalities, municipal boundaries. I want the data, so that second result there. And just like when we got our precinct shapefile, and you can see here, here's border, here's Kirkwood. I'm going to hit download. Download. I don't want the CSV this time. I just want the shapefile. It gives me two options. I just go ahead and download this one here. The second one, it's a lot faster. There shouldn't be any changes made to it. So I'm just going to do that. And then we're going to go back to QGIS. We hit municipal boundaries, and we're just going to double click on the shapefile. And now our whole map is covered up. So now we're going to double click on that. Go to Symbology. So we're going to go ahead and hit symbol layer type, little arrow, simple line. I think a black is a good line for us. We just hit OK. And that is the border of all of our municipalities. Now, most maps don't have municipal borders in them, like if you think about your Google Maps or your Apple Maps. So I'm going to go over here to labels, because really what they have is the label of the municipality. Hit single labels. And then once again, we're going to go over to the expressions, the E. I'm going to go down to fields and values. I'm going to hit municipality. I'm going to get remove object ID. I'm going to hit OK. OK. Now everything is labeled. And at this point, it's up to you, but I would even say, I don't even need the outlines. And for me, one thing that I notice when we do this is that it shows unincorporated a lot. Most maps don't have unincorporated. That doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so now we go in here, we hit rule-based labeling. So we hit rule-based labeling, we got filter selected. Then we go here to the E expressions, we go to conditionals, we hit null if. And then we've got value 1. So if fields and paths, if the municipality is, put in a comma, and I'm going to show all of the different possible municipalities. Which one do I want to be null? Which one do I not want to be there? If it's unincorporated, now hit parentheses, not 0, you hit parentheses. And then that preview outlook is going to say, or output is going to say, Fenton will show up, municipality won't. So that's perfect. I hit OK. I hit OK. And notice all the unincorporateds are gone. And then one other thing, when you zoom out like this, it is very cluttered. So there's one more thing that we can do. If you go down here, we go over to rendering. Okay, we'll scroll down on this, feature options. Limit number of features to be labeled to, usually 20. Actually, I do 20 for both of these usually. And this is a bit of a guessing game. And I just hit OK on this. And it's not perfect. It is biased towards larger municipalities. So when we zoom way out, it only shows like Wildwood, Chesterfield, and Maryland Heights, with which if we go in here and change the borders. You can see that those are like the biggest municipalities. But that's fine. When we're zoomed in, it looks pretty good. And then one more thing that I wanted to show you is how to, edit the color scheme. Whoops. I'm going to go into the shape file, double click it, and then we can actually go in here and mess around with it. You can see here, you can change the opacity. And we can even change the colors, all different sorts of things that we can do in here. A lighter blue, or let's just say I want to do a purple. Hit OK. Again, paste our equation in here. We can mess around with our map. Again, so in this video, we looked at different background maps that we can put in the background to give our map more context. And then we went into, finding these maps on the web. Then we also looked at projections, how that affects the way that our map looks. And then we also went into how to change the coloring of our map to best to look how we want it to. Yeah, thanks for watching.